Welcome, fellow bookworms, to Tibra's Den. My name is Whitney, and we just finished reading Death Mask by Jim Butcher. This is the fifth book in the Dresden File series, and I did enjoy it. I'm going to get into my thoughts on it in just a second. Before I do, though, as always, we just like to catch you up here. So if you're new to this channel, we do Book of the Month discussions every Monday. If you're not already participating in those, I do hope you will join us. We're currently reading Obsidian Butterfly by Laurell K. Hamilton, which is another supernatural-based book. If you like the Dresden Files, you'll probably enjoy her books as well. So definitely check those out. We also do a weekly read every Wednesday. I just find a book in my collection, I read it within the week, and then I give my thoughts on it the next week. We do a Throwback Thursday where I cover different childhood books, and I just started a brand new series that's not going to be weekly, but it's going to be kind of reoccurring, and I'm doing an ABC author challenge. That first video didn't come out yesterday, but the week before, so last Friday. So I hope you will check that out. I do have a second video. If it's not already out, it'll be coming out soon. And yeah, just a lot happens here on this channel in Tibra's Den. So I hope you will subscribe, hit the bell notification, and give this video a like while you're at it. But let's go ahead and jump into my thoughts on Death Mask. So overall, like I said, it was very enjoyable. The problem I had with it, which I mentioned last week when I discussed the first half of this book, is there was so much happening in it. So reading the second half, when it kind of jumped back to like previous information, I struggled with where to place that, and I really had to think about it and kind of recall where that fit in the overall story. And so that's only my only criticism for this. Otherwise, I found the story itself very enjoyable. I liked the premise of it a lot more than any of the others. It was very like faith-based, so it had, the Knights of the Crosses and the Shroud of Turin, and then it had I want to say the De Barons, which I like that whole aspect. I like that supernatural lore and such. And so I found that really, really enjoyable. And the other thing I liked was each of his books so far has had like two main lines that end up all tying together, and that was the case with this one. So even though there was a lot going on, there was two main lines. There was the Red Court duel line and the war with them, and then there was the Shroud of Turin and that whole line. um and so I appreciated, how he did those. But in this book, those lines didn't tie together like they have in the other books. So the Red Court duel was completely separate from the Shroud of Turin thing going on. Susan and the guy that she came with tied both of those cases together only because of their ties with Harry. So they were involved in both aspects, but not because they were there, for both aspects. They were part of the Red Court storyline, but they tied into the other one because of Harry. And I thought that bridged the gap very, very nicely. So I did enjoy that aspect. Like I said, overall, I love the premise of the book. I enjoyed the storylines. There was just a lot of information being hit. I almost wish he had done this one focus on like the Shroud of Turin and that storyline, and then we're kind of building up to the Red Court duel, like in the background, but not necessarily such a focus of this one. I think that would have worked nicely, in a separate book, because at one point he's dealing with the whole Shroud of Turin thing, and has a deadline for the duel, and I'm like, well, how is he gonna do this and do that? And then all of a sudden, he's headed towards the duel, and so the ball kind of got dropped there. Um, I felt like, because you're like, you can like, well, how's he gonna do the duel at sundown, but then he needs to go here and such. And then it's like the author remembered, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be doing this duel, and so the next chapter he kind of fixed it a little bit. But that's the only thing. I think there was just too much going on. um but other than that, he's still really building up to the action scenes a lot better than he did in the first couple books, which I love. I like that build up. I like the more that has more depth to it and there's more substance there, as far as like the storyline and the arc of the story, but just too much happening. So the other thing I thought he did well, the worm fell out. That's okay. The other thing I thought he did well was I had mentioned in the last book, Summer Night, that some of the information was getting very, very repetitive, and I did not like that. Where in this one, he still has that information in there, but he presented it in a different way, and so it wasn't quite as annoying as in the first, books. Obviously the first books, that's new information to you, but by the fourth book it was just the same information in the same way over and over again. Where this time he presented that information in a different way, so it was a lot more enjoyable. So overall, really enjoyed this. I don't think it's beating Summer Night at all, just because how much information was in there. There was just too much going on, but I still enjoyed it, which I've enjoyed every single one of his books. It definitely beats out, like, probably the first couple books. Um, but, so far it's been like each book gets better and better. Where in this case, I just didn't feel like this one did. But yeah, really excited to have read this one, and I can't wait to jump into the next one, which is called Blood Rites. This one is a little bit bigger than the books so far, but really excited to do this one. I'm going to go ahead and read the synopsis. Sometimes there's little spoilers in there, so if you're not all caught up, go ahead and jump on this off this video, and we'll see you next time. Otherwise, if you'd like to know what the synopsis for Blood Rites is, stay around. But it says, for Harry Dresden, Chicago's only professional wizard, there have been worse assignments than going undercover on a set of an adult film. Like fleeing a burning building full of enraged demon monkeys, for instance, or going toe-to-leaf with a walking plant monster. Still, there's something more troubling than usual about his newest case. The film's producer believes he's a target of a sinister entropy curse. Sorry, but it is the women around him who are dying in an increasingly spectacular ways. Harry's doubly frustrated because he got involved with this bizarre mystery only as a favor to Thomas, his flirtatious, self-absorbed vampire acquaintance of dubious integrity. Thomas has a personal stake in the case Harry can't quite figure out, until his investigation leads him straight to Thomas's oversexed vampire family. Harry's about to discover that Thomas's family tree has been hiding a shocking secret, a revelation that will change Harry's life forever. So, sounds interesting. I really like the character of Thomas. As vampires go, I find him pretty entertaining. So, I'm happy that he'll be kind of at the forefront of this book. But yeah, we're going to start that this week. We're going to be reading chapters 1 through 21. That's about half the book. There's 42 chapters in this one. So we're going to be reading, like I said, 1 through 21 this week if you're participating. And I will talk about the first half and kind of my predictions and my thoughts next Saturday. I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys here. Happy reading, everyone. Bye.